with elite goaltending and star power both up front and on defense, your 1994 team had that as well. Do you see any similarities with the current team in your 1994 roster?
Benjamin, it's really hard to draw comparisons because it's a different era and a different kind of team that you've got to build. Our team back then was playing in an era where it was still about power forwards and big, strong, physical players that had to outmuscle the other team. Today's game is speed and skill. Goaltenders are much bigger and they only block the net. They don't necessarily make quick sort of saves with fabulous flexibility in that. They're big, they go into the butterfly and they cover as much of the net as they can and let the puck hit them. That's another change in the game. Chris Kreider, who does such a great job in front of the net, including that power play tying goal that he gave to Lafreniere, that backhanded pass. I mean, Chris Kreider in our day would be in the trainer's room every day with back problems because he would be getting cross-checked out of the front of the net so thoroughly. So, I mean, all you can compare it to is the dominance that the team has within the league at the time. And, our team was very dominant that year. Rangers are very dominant so far this year. So there's, you can draw that comparison. I don't think that it's easy to draw any others. I think Brian Leetch and Adam Fox are totally different kinds of great offensive defensemen. Jacob Trouba and pick a name, Jeff Bukaboom or whoever you want to come to are totally different kinds of guys. Zibanejad is a fabulous player. Kreider's a fabulous goal scorer. Panarin's a superstar. You could say Panarin's Kovalev. You could say that you could draw a lot of comparisons, but it's just very difficult to do. I do think, though, that this is one of the best starts I've seen, and most optimistic that the Rangers should be at this point in the season of my years of watching them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say, if not the team, you touched on it too, like American defenseman Leetch and Fox. That's been a big comparison so far in Fox's career. And then depending on where the team stands at the trade deadline in March, do you see Chris Drury making any serious deadline moves? And what do you think they need to get over the top?
Well, it's so early to say that. I mean, I think Chris Drury will do what he has to do at the time when it comes up. But I would caution them, not to look for big cogs to put in the wheel at the trade deadline. I would look for complementary additions so that, you don't need another Panarin. You need another Hedl. You need another guy that can win faceoffs for you, that can go out and do that. You need another Trocheck. And by making sure that you're fortified in those checking and grinding roles, and also in your fifth and sixth defenseman, that's what's going to win it for you, because you need to have guys that are depth players, and you need a lot of them because injuries happen. So I'm sure they'll do something leading up to the deadline. It's too early for me to say what they should do.
Yeah. I mean, because you made trades like for depth guys. You didn't go out and get a superstar per se, but guys like Mateau scored the clutch goal and gave them to send you guys to the cup. But then going off your answer with saying maybe more depth players, do you think Drury last year, because obviously the players he acquired, Tarasenko, and then all the hurdles they had to do to get Patrick Kane, it didn't work out. Do you think he was right in doing that last year, or should he have prioritized other type of players?
Well, it's hindsight is 2020, and I don't want to second guess what he did last year. I can tell you that at the time that they got Tarasenko, and at the time that they got Patrick Kane. I didn't think that's what they needed, but that's not criticizing their moves. That's saying, I don't think that's what they needed at that time. I could have been wrong, and wasn't necessarily right. I was just saying, I don't think that that's what you should add at that time. There, you see, one of the things that the fans don't understand, some of them don't understand, is that you have a hockey team, and if you add a star onto that hockey team, it doesn't necessarily make the team better. People think, so and so's available. If we get him, we're going to be better. Well, it doesn't work that way always. Sometimes you are. A lot of times it takes you a while to get your chemistry back that you had going so well before you acquired that star player. So, when we got Mark, we got him at the beginning of the season. So it was his team the whole time, from then on. When we acquired players near the deadline, it really, even when we acquired Eddie Olchuk, and he was a star player from Winnipeg, he really was. If you look back at the articles and that, but that didn't help us make the playoffs. We still missed the playoffs in 92, 93. So I guess what I'm saying is you got to be wary of the fact that just because the guy's a star player and you're going to add him to your team doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be even better than you are. If you add him to Columbus right now, yeah, sure, of course they're going to be better. But if you add him to Boston, if you add a star player right now to Boston, can Boston be that much better? They've only lost one game. And the same thing with the Rangers. I mean, can so my point is that when you look at opportunities that are out there for teams and you're a fan, don't get caught up in the, well, he's a star, so we got to get him, because that doesn't necessarily hold true.